On a June morning in 1967, Bristol was shaken by a crime that would haunt it for nearly 60 years. Louisa Dunn, a 75-year-old widow once active in the city's labor movement, now lived alone and estranged from her family. That night an intruder broke into her home and Louisa was raped and strangled with a scarf. Her body was discovered the next day by a neighbor, her home a scene of violence and loss. Police found her underwear around her ankles and bruises on her neck, a brutal, senseless attack. The only clue, a palm print on the window, left by the killer. The murder sent shockwaves through the community, leaving residents fearful and desperate for answers. Louisa's name became synonymous with an unsolved crime, her story a painful mystery for decades. The search for her killer would become one of Bristol's largest investigations, but the culprit vanished without a trace. The Avon and Somerset Constabulary launched a massive investigation, led by Reg Hicks and a team of 90 officers. Their main lead, the palm print on Louisa's window. Police collected prints from every male aged 14 to 60 in the area, interviewing thousands and checking over 19,000 palm prints. Despite the unprecedented effort, no match was found. The killer had lived just outside their search zone. As months passed, the investigation lost momentum and was eventually shut down. The palm print, once a beacon of hope, became a symbol of frustration. Officers were left with an unsolved file, and Louisa's murder faded into the archives. The community's fear lingered, but the trail had gone cold. For decades the case remained a ghost in Bristol's history. Justice for Louisa seemed out of reach. The man who escaped the manhunt was Ryland Headley, a Jamaican-born railway worker living just outside the police's search boundary. Headley continued his life, hiding his crime for years. A decade later in Ipswich, he broke into the homes of two elderly women, raping both and threatening to strangle one. This time, he left fingerprints and was caught, pleading guilty to rape and burglary. Shockingly, his life sentence was reduced to 7 years after a successful appeal. Headley was released and faded back into society, his connection to Louisa's murder unknown. The justice system failed to see the pattern of his predatory behavior. Louisa's family endured decades of pain while her killer walked free. Headley's crimes were buried, his most terrible act still a secret. The past remained unresolved, waiting for a breakthrough. In 2024, a new cold case team reopened Louisa's file using modern forensic science. Forensic specialist Heidi Miller re-examined Louisa's preserved skirt, using advanced techniques to extract DNA. Against all odds, sperm cells were found, and a full DNA profile was built, 57 years after the crime. The profile was run through the UK National DNA Database and matched to Ryland Headley. Headley's DNA had been added years earlier after an unrelated incident. Police arrested the now 91-year-old Headley and took his palm print. It matched the print left on Louisa's window in 1967. Two pieces of evidence, one old, one new, finally pointed to the same man. The ghost from Bristol's past now had a name and a face. After nearly 6 decades, the truth was finally revealed. In June 2025, Ryland Headley, now 92, stood trial for Louisa Dunn's rape and murder. The prosecution presented the DNA and palm print evidence, along with details of Headley's 1977 rapes. The jury saw a clear pattern, a predator targeting elderly women, breaking in at night, using violence. Headley denied involvement, but the evidence was overwhelming. On June 30th, the jury found him guilty on both counts. For Louisa's family, the verdict brought long-awaited closure after decades of silence and pain. Police are now investigating whether Headley is linked to other unsolved crimes. The conviction closed a dark chapter for Bristol and opened the door to solving more mysteries from the past.